What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Carbon, and today's video you're going to see in the background is my final run of Series 1 since they implemented the new scoring system and this 415 map. Now, as we approach the end of Series 1, there are going to be 3 different badges that you can earn within the Discord, to keep yourself as like an OG driver in HESI. And even myself, I'm an OG certified from last year in 2023. I've only been a part of the server since December. And they're going to have 3 different awards. There's going to be the top 500, which is all I really wanted to get. Top 500 out of like the million people that are playing this game. There's also going to be a top 20 driver. That's going to be considered the Series 1 Demon. And then there's going to be a top 3, which will receive the Series 1 Legend. Now, sadly, I did try to go for a top 20 run when I got this run that you're seeing today. I didn't get it. But doesn't mean that when Series 2 comes out, it's not going to be an entirely new skill gap, and I'm going to absolutely just try to demolish the competition. There's way too many good drivers on this server. In fact, recently somebody just took first place with only a few days left in the scoring system, and he beat everybody by like 1 billion points. It took him a little over 4 hours, but he got 3.6 billion points at a 63,000 combo, and the next person down is 2.1 billion. So he's in the lead by 1.5 billion points, almost guaranteed to take the top 3 badge. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions asking like, what are my settings? Can I please share my settings? And the only thing I have to say is that settings in Assetto Corsa through Content Manager are fucking deep. All right, the only thing I can really suggest is to use this camera mode that you're seeing now, and you can do that via the onboard settings on the right side menu. I would also turn off motion blur, as that's mainly an aesthetic feature. And besides that, just don't put any settings on your computer that will absolutely stress the game out, because you never know. It could be an hour down the run and your computer all of a sudden is overheating a little bit and you lose performance. The game hitches a little bit, so cars bug out. They move like 10 feet forward, they rear engine, and your run's over. But again, the camera angles and all the other settings are, preference. What will work for you. This camera angle works best for me. Some people really like to be in the cockpit behind the steering wheel. Some people like to be on the bumper. Some people like to be on the hood. Some people like to use a third person. Now, if you're using a third person or any other camera angle that is not the cockpit first person view for the onboard settings, then I would also turn off raindrops. You don't want those little raindrops showing up on your screen and then blocking the upcoming cars, which thus prevents a plan that you might have for cutting. A car might come out of fucking nowhere because of that raindrop and you weren't prepared for it, and your run is scrubbed. Now, I fully enjoyed Series 1. I did. I love the new proximity system. I love the new map, but there are going to be new releases coming with Series 2. HESI is just a couple of years old. So it is a constant work of progress. They're going to be releasing some new cars, which they might have actually already released already. It's going to be the Evo 9, the DC5, the E92 GTS, and a complete overhaul of the Viper, which apparently has become very popular again. And then finally, a refreshed BMW Bimmer plug with some extra spicy visuals. I'm not a BMW fan. I wish we'd stop adding BMWs, but that's just me. I'm sure there's also going to be a lot of new maps. There's going to be a new scoring system. And also, a little birdie told me that there's no longer going to be an unlimited amount of time. So basically, from what I can tell, there's going to be a time limit. Who knows what that time limit is going to be? And it's basically going to be how many points can you get within this certain amount of time. Because as of the Series 1 scoring system, it seems like it's no longer that much of a skill-based competition. It's more of an endurance, if there's a better word for it. It is more of an endurance. How long can you hold your bladder, just drive and not crash into anything. You do that long enough, you're going to get certified. So I'm excited to see that change possibly in upcoming Series 2. The little birdie also told me that the JDM servers and the Cops and Robbers servers are basically going to be getting a complete rework, making them more fun, more available, more cars, more tuning. And again, another reason why I just love being a VIP 3, because I get access to every single map they have, every single car they have. And then if I join the public servers, I can just, drive the VIP cars that people that are in the public servers and non-VIP aren't allowed to drive, basically guaranteeing you a place in a populated public server. Because not everybody drives for competition. They're not trying to get the highest score. Some people just want to drive with their friends. Some people just want to play cops and robbers and chase each other with cop cars. Some people want to go to other maps such as Nordschleife and California Highway, even enjoying the OG SRP map, which is the map that I tried to learn right before 2024 started. And then, you know, there was a whole new 415 map, and then I spent all my time basically just driving 415 and not really enjoying anything else. So by giving us more shit to do, I consider it a practice. You know, I go out and I drive any other car, you know, cars I don't usually use on these high score runs, and just enjoy the sounds of them, the feels of them, you know, cutting traffic with other people, making little clips. It's fun. It's just pure content, and it is a great game for somebody who loves cars. And I will say one of the biggest changes I have made to my racing setup, I guess you could call it, is getting a complete new wheel. Now, I was using a Logitech G923 wheel, still a great wheel, don't get me wrong. For a non-direct drive wheel, the price point isn't too bad. It has plenty of buttons. The force feedback is all right. The pedals, you can upgrade the springs to make them feel more realistic, except one day my Logitech wheel just stopped working. You know, my computer was sensing that there was something plugged into it, but it didn't know what it was. And you know, even the lights wouldn't turn on the wheel. It wouldn't calibrate itself. I ended up ordering a new power supply. That didn't do it. So I'm like, fuck it. If I'm gonna spend a crazy amount of money on another wheel, I'm just gonna get a direct drive wheel. I got the Moza R5 bundle and ordered an SRP light clutch pedal on the side, so I can still use, you know, my manual transmissions. I do like using a shifter. Most people, I think, just use the paddle shift. Now, because I got rid of the Logitech wheel and the Moza bundle did not come with a shifter, I needed a new shifter. And because the Logitech only plugged into the Logitech wheelbase, I could have bought an adapter, but then I'm just stuck with a 6-speed shifter, and I wanted at least a 7-speed. So I ordered a 7-speed Thrustmaster, and it's also got a reverse gear. You rarely see more than 6 gears on manual cars in these no heavy servers, but I've also been playing cars like CarX Drift and Beeman G, and all of those do have extra gears that I'd like, especially in like American Truck Simulator. That's fun as well. But the wheel had absolutely changed the game for me. I went from running like a 30 million top score to, you know, now I'm well above 100 million, like well above it. You know, even my personal best before this run was about 168 million, and I'm gonna finish with 100 million more than that. And I'm probably not gonna go on another serious run until Series 2 starts. And even then, when Series 2 starts, the leaderboard is gonna clear from Series 1. You know, it's gonna be pretty easy to get certified, but a lot of people are gonna be gunning for points. So I'm probably just gonna have a little bit of fun the first couple of weeks, see where the leaderboard is gonna start to be, then start to commit on my long high score runs and try to just secure a nice position on the leaderboard. As soon as somebody kicks me off the top 500, that's when I'll do another run, as I've been doing. You know, I did have 168 million. That got me to like top 70 in the world, but over the last 3 weeks or so, it dropped me down to 102. Now, they're not going to have a top 100 score, but just for myself, I wanted to say that I was top 100 people every single series. So to end this series, Series 1 on, you know, top 100, more than enough for me. I won't have to do another run until Series 2 starts. This will give me time to learn new cars, because it seems like a lot of the people on these servers are basically seeing the cars that were used in the Series 1 leaderboards and before there was a Series 1. And those cars have basically been favorited by everyone going for high tier runs, which is the Honda Civic EG6, the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. A lot of people also using the BMW M340i G20. And I would say like those are the top cars that people are using. But even myself, I'm using a Nissan R32 Skyline. I've used the R34 Skyline. I used the Nissan Maxima back when it was out. I'm not really saying I'm a Nissan fanatic, but I do like using the cars that nobody else is using to prove that you don't need, you know, these top 3 or 4 cars out of the 100 or so they have to get your highest score. You know, it's basically spend time with the car, get used to it, and then that could be the best car. So I think I'm the only one on the leaderboard, top 100, that is using a Nissan. In fact, I am the second person on the top 100 leaderboard that is using a car that is no HESI tuned. This right here is the Nissan R32 Hell Spec, which means it was tuned by no HESI. It's not just another car in the game. And I'm one of 2 people to do that. And I hope that, you know, more people will come around to use cars that aren't the top 3 leaderboard cars. And, you know, cars such as the R32 maybe won't get booted out of the server because no one's using it. And that's a big, you know, fear of mine. I live in the JDM servers. A lot of other people like the supercar servers or the German car servers. Me, I just like my JDMs. I like my manual cars. And because not a lot of people are driving a lot of the JDM, you know, when you see people in a JDM server, it seems like the only car they're driving is the Honda Civic EG6. And then I'm over here in any other car doing better than them. Not to say the Honda Civic EG6 and the other cars on the top of the leaderboard aren't good cars. I mean, they are good cars. That's why people are using it, but they aren't the only good cars. So I'm excited to see what cars I'll end up falling in love with in Series 2 and end up using that over this Nissan R32. Right now, this Nissan R32 has just become, you know, like my baby. I know when it's going to, you know, lock the brakes up. I know when it's gonna slide out on me. I know which gears to use in which certain areas. I know how much I can whip a car to the left or the right as like a last minute dodge on a vehicle to not be able to lose control and still keep my traction and my grip. I don't even have to fuck with the tuning of the car in the pits. I don't change the wheels. I don't change the brakes. I don't change anything about it. I am just driving it the way it was intended. But I will start to buckle down. I'll start to share some of my settings in Assetto Corsa. You know, specifically what I use for no HESI. There's a lot of other servers I like to drive in, but I will share some settings. They do change quite often, so even if I upload one, by the time anybody sees it, I've probably already made some changes. You know, I'd make little tunes here and there of things I noticed, because this game does have the most insane amount of custom settings. It is a simulator beyond simulators. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is going to be my top run of Season 1. I'm not going to do another one. Wait till Season 2, see what I can do then. Make sure I'm top 100 every single time. So please hit that like, hit that subscribe, and until next time, peace!